what is equity release? How does it work?
So it's important not to confuse equity release with home reversion.
Okay.
So you are not selling part of your home to a provider or a company. Instead, what you're doing is taking out a mortgage on that property, which you can use for pretty much any purpose you wish. You don't have to repay that mortgage during your lifetime, or if you move into earlier long-term care.
So generally then, what do people use the money for? Are there any restrictions on what you can do with the money?
No, there are very few restrictions. Most people we see are using it for home improvements. So, want a new kitchen, anything like that. They might be using it to gift to other family members to help them get on the property ladder. So, bank of mum and dad. Repay or restructure existing debts. So we see a lot of people who have existing interest-only mortgages, that don't have the repayment vehicle in place, so they want to then roll it over into an equity release mortgage. That's very popular. Or things like, enjoying my retirement, I want to splash out on the holiday of a lifetime or something like that. And you just don't
that's good to hear, because it's probably a combination of those things that I want to do.
Perfect, perfect.
Looking at my individual situation, you probably wouldn't say it's a normal sort of straight down the middle position.
That's all right.
Is that going to be a problem?
No, not at all. So equity release can be used for a variety of purposes, as we've already established. But also you can use it for purchasing property. You don't have to have an existing house. You can actually do it on buy-to-let properties as well. Properties with land can be, have equity release done. Obviously, it's all down to the individual lending criteria, which is where your advisor would fully look at that and find you the best match when giving the advice. So, don't worry if something is slightly out of the norm.
Just thinking about what you were saying there, I don't actually have a very high regular income. Is that likely to be a problem?
No, not at all. Again, because the assessment is on the property, your income is not actually relevant to the assessment of the loan. An advisor would collect that to check that there aren't other methods, or you couldn't qualify for certain state benefits, for example, which would mean that you don't need to do equity release, but certainly not as part of the process for actually applying and seeing if you're eligible. It's really important to make sure that providers are used that are affiliated with the Equity Release Council, because they then build in a no negative equity guarantee. That means that the loan can never accrue higher than the value of the property during your lifetime. So anything, if it did get to that point, it would just be written off.
I can see why that would be important.
And important for beneficiaries as well, to make sure that they're not going to inherit debt, so to speak, as well as lose their loved one.
This all sounds great. I think it's something that I want to definitely have a look at. So where do we start?
First thing really is to speak to an advisor, make sure that they've got the qualifications to look at this. Certainly at Hawsons we are fully qualified, we've got a whole of market, so truly independent to look at all the providers out there. It's really important as well to potentially discuss it with your family, and maybe the beneficiaries of your estate. Certainly we would always encourage family members to be part of this process, just so that everybody's well versed on what's happening. And we would give an initial no obligation meeting, which will be held at our cost as well.
So with equity release, I'm not selling my house, I'm just taking out a lifetime mortgage on it. I don't have to pay any interest, which is great, and I'll have the chance to pay it all off if my circumstances change. I can use the money for whatever I want, and I can do this through a specialist advisor, which we have at Hawsons. So all in all, it sounds like it's a good idea.